So you mentioned the Phillies before with Zach Wheeler, but we know this Phillies team the last 2 years has been one of the most fun teams to watch in baseball. They've made the World Series, and a lot of people like them because they're like that old school, like they're going to play to have fun and not as
Who
much.
are you kidding? They've got Trey Turner and they have Bryce Harper. Okay.
Yep. So I want to know, any of those guys, you mentioned Schwarber, you mentioned Wheeler, any of those guys have interesting personalities and stories that you got to see in spring training?
I'm trying to. I mean, so obviously when they're there in spring training, they're not there a ton, but I remember one of the first days I got there, I think Schwarber had just gotten to Philly, and he just come into he came into the locker room and introduced himself to every guy. And I wasn't even a guy in big league camp or anything, but he comes right up to me and like three other guys who were just backing up the game that day. And he's like, "Hey, what's going on, man? I'm Kyle," and like introduces himself. And we're like, "Yeah, we all know exactly who you are." But you could tell from the get-go that he was just a regular guy, and obviously I think that's why they love him so much. I don't have anything too crazy, other than that, really.
You know what's so interesting, and Kyle Schwarber, if you don't remember him, he was a catcher. Now he's an outfielder. He has a tremendous amount of power. One of the better power hitters in the last couple of years in the major leagues, in the National League East. You look at now with the Dodgers, the deferred money, and you see Ohtani and Yamamoto and Friedman and Betts, and they practically have every single superstar on one team, and everybody thinks, hey, this is a World Series or 2 or 3 or 4, and they're just deferring all these contracts. What are your thoughts as a major league pitcher or a minor league pitcher with these defer contracts?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've never even heard of that until obviously the Ohtani thing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do that and then sell the team the year before or something, because I can't imagine having to pay that all out in 1 year. But I guess the better he plays and the more wins they get in that period is going to kind of pay for itself. But yeah, I mean, the numbers being thrown out there now are crazy. I don't know how. I'm pretty cheap, so I feel like the higher it goes, the better opportunity it makes it for me.
You know what you should do? You should reach out to Ohtani and tell Ohtani, I'm poor. I'm poor. I'm a poor baseball player. I started a performance center. You've made hundreds and millions of dollars already. Why don't you invest? Why don't you invest in my baseball performance center? You're a pitcher. Yeah. I'm a pitcher. We're both pitchers. I need money. Why not? Why not that? Ohtani's got the money.
Yeah, no, I should.
You should invite back
Scherzer. Do you want me to help you out here? I could reach out to Ohtani. I could reach out to his agent. He'd probably never answer, but hey, maybe I'll get lucky and I get a hold of Ohtani. I mean, he bought one of his teammates, his wife's a Porsche. I think he bought her because he wanted the jersey number.
Too. He's getting paid.
They're even deferring to Teoscar Hernandez now.
That's true too.
You should have try to find a way to get back Scherzer in your facility. He could give you a chunk of his contract to rebirth his pitching.
Oh my God!
I feel like Trout might be our best option. He's from the same area, and that high school, we deal with a lot of guys there. So maybe that's a connect. We'll have to work on.
Well, we can reach out to him. I mean, he will be a Met soon. So.
As long as Max Scherzer's not, I think I'm good.
I think that the next team to land all the players is going to be next year when David Stern says, you know what? I've got a couple of $1 billion. Hey, Steve, give me a couple. And you're going to see him. Corbin Burns, Juan Soto. I want him. I want him. I want him. I want him. And you're going to see the Mets and the Dodgers just buy the league, as we've seen. So
hopefully the Mets are smart enough to defer their money, but we don't know if that.
No, I don't think they're that smart.
No, they're not. Unfortunately, now, David Stearns is a lot smarter than our last multitude of GMs.
Well, they'll probably be taxed more than the Dodgers.
Oh, they already are. They're already taxed $110 million. Yes, it is. And they already traded that at the trade deadline too.
Oh man, baseball! Don't you love it?
Crazy.
It's crazy. It really is. I mean, because it's guaranteed money. If you look at football, could you imagine a football player? This guy's getting $170 million contracts. Actually, no, he's not. He's getting $60 million guaranteed, and in 3 years, they don't own nothing.
Unless you're Deshaun Watson, which is fully guaranteed.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother story. You know what? If you yanked on your chain 1 million times, you'd be making that money too.